Much, Leslie. On today's Money Watch, new research shows the #1 goal for workers this year is to make more money. Who doesn't want that, right? But what's the right way to ask for a raise? Joining us now to talk more about this is Bert with Certified Financial. Joe, you know what? Everyone wants more money.
Of course.
But it's an awkward conversation to have.
Well, you have to understand that if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it.
That's
But
true.
you need to be realistic.
Okay.
And of course, we were talking about money this morning. We want to get that raise. What we don't want to do is go out and blow it. Don't go out and buy the TV. Put it in your IRA, 401k. That's retirement planning is what it's all about. So when you get that extra money, use it wisely.
Okay, so you say there are some things to consider first before you approach your boss. What's first up?
First thing is to know what you're worth. You know, you don't want to go in there in some outrageous expectation because you'll just get blown right out of the room.
Right.
So get a rough idea of what you're worth, what other people in your industry are earning, what the general rule of thumb is in your business. How often do they give raises?
And not in your workplace, because people are very mum about what they make, and you should be, right?
Yeah, and oftentimes what you hear is not always the truth.
That's true. That's very true. Okay, next up, inflation?
Well, you have to understand that if inflation is only 1.5%, 2%, 3%, and you're going in asking for a 9%, 10% raise, unless you've really demonstrated some outstanding work effort, you're probably not going to get it.
And you'll get laughed at?
Well, but I think the thing that people need to do, if you're in a position where you're kind of in semi-management, or even if you're an hourly worker, but you're regularly tasked with doing things, keep a list of what you do, how often you do it, and how well you do it. Don't show up late for work, and don't leave early. If you're one of these people that come in at 8:30 and looking at your watch, and 5:30 you're out the door, chances are you're not a good candidate for a good raise.
All right. Cost of living.
Well, once again, that gets back to inflation. If inflation is running at a modest level, you don't want to go in asking for big money unless, in fact, you've demonstrated that you've done an outstanding job. That's really the key.
Okay. And you did say workplace value. How easy it is to replace you. Everyone feels replaceable now, though.
Well, it depends on what you do and how well you do it. You know, as an employer, you have to look at, okay, this person does this job for me. If this person leaves, who am I going to replace them with, and what's the training involved? So if you have somebody that's difficult to replace and you know it, you're likely to get a decent raise. All right.
Did I leave one off the list? Market norms? Did we do that one? Inflation?
Well, yeah, you want to know what the market norms are for your particular position. If you have a position that, and you can find this stuff on the internet, you know, if you're being paid $45,000 a year and the salary range for people in your area is $60,000, you're due a raise. But keep track of that stuff. And depending on where you live, if you're living in New York, it's one thing. If you're living in Orlando, it's something else.
And when you do get that raise, invest, don't spend.
Put it in your 401k, your IRA. That's a secret, Lauren.
All right. Joe Bert, thank you so much.
Okay.
Tom.
All right, 9:18.